Awards season continues in Major League Baseball. The Cy Young handed out on Wednesday. A pair of lefties take home the hardware. Veteran Chris Sale wins the first Cy Young of his career. He made 29 starts for the Braves this past season. To put that into context, he made 31 starts over the previous 3 seasons combined with the Red Sox because of multiple injuries. In the offseason, Boston traded Sale and cash considerations to Atlanta in exchange for Vaughn Grissom. Sale went out and won the NL pitching triple crown, leading the league with 18 wins, 225 strikeouts, and a 2.38 ERA. In the American League, it's unanimous. Tigers ace Tarik Skubal wins the Cy Young. Had a breakout season, winning the AL pitching triple crown, leading the league with 18 wins, 228 strikeouts, and a 2.39 ERA. Skubal grew up in a small town in Arizona, was offered one Division I scholarship, later drafted by Detroit in the 9th round of the 2018 draft. Skubal wins the Cy Young on his 28th birthday. Have a birthday, kid. And this marks just the 3rd time in MLB history that 2 lefties win the Cy Young in the same season. In 2002 was Barry Zito and Randy Johnson, and back in 1977, Sparky Lyle and Steve Carlton. So Chris Sale and Tarik Skubal making MLB history. And for more, welcome in 2013 World Series champ Will Middlebrooks. Chris Sale broke down at the end of the season with back spasms, but he did enough to take home his first Cy Young, winning the award over Zach Wheeler and NL Rookie of the Year Paul Skeens. Will, aside from being healthy for almost the entire season, what was different for the 35-year-old Sale this year?
Well, I hate to say it as a Red Sox guy, but the change of scenery, this is a perfect example of a change of scenery guy, and getting him out of there where it was becoming mental at this point, not only physical with all the injuries, but almost like he was waiting for the next thing to happen, and then the next thing would happen over and over again. But then you start digging deeper into the analytics and the metrics and what he's doing differently. He actually did change his pitch usage a good amount. Like, he had always, yes, he's always had the very good wipeout slider, but he also had a very powerful fastball that he would go to a lot earlier in his career. Now, with the injuries, we saw the velo tick down a little bit with that fastball. He was still running at mid-90s, 96 at times. We saw some 97s this year, just not as consistently. We saw him go to the slider and the changeup a lot this year. He threw more sliders than fastballs. The slider and the changeup, both hitters hit about 160, 170 against. The fastball got hit hard, but he picked his spots with it and set up his other pitches. He pitched backwards, which wasn't normal for Chris Sale, but it worked. He could just not finding barrels, and the swing and miss was definitely there.
Yeah, change in scenery made a huge difference for Chris Sale. Earned 26 of the possible 30 first-place votes. Zach Wheeler had an awesome season, but he's the Cy Young runner-up for the 2nd time in his career. In the American League, it's unanimous. Tarik Skubal wins the Cy Young on his 28th birthday, and this is the year Skubal became a star. A lot of people didn't know how to pronounce his name. I remember people saying, is it Tarik? No, it's Tarik Skubal. It's a name that sticks with you once you know it. Fastball velocity up. Changeup and sinker, nasty. We saw it against Cleveland in the playoffs. Will, what does it say about Tarik Skubal, the journey to get here and win the Cy Young?
Yeah, and watching the feature on this as we rolled into this segment, he kind of feels like the Josh Allen of baseball, right? Like, doesn't have all these offers. He goes to Seattle, right? Like, it's these random places these guys come from, and they turn into what they are now, these MVPs, these Cy Youngs. But it's really special because, yes, the stuff is there. The stuff has always been there, but it's always, he's tinkered with his mechanics. He tinkered with his stuff. He's had up and down with injuries for a couple years, and then boom, on the scene this year. And it's like every time he took the mound, you felt like something special could happen. You know, I was lucky to cover their playoff series in Houston, and I was able to sit down with AJ Hinch and with their pitching staff and talk about this guy. And they talked about his routine and the work he put in. And he's a lead by example guy. He's not a very vocal guy in that clubhouse, but they said he was the main reason they were where they are, or where they were at the end of that season. Not just because of the numbers he put up, not just because he was an aircraft carrier for that team, but because of the example he set with his work ethic. All these young guys in that clubhouse. And I know when I was young and I'm coming up and I have the Dustin Pedroias and the David Ortiz and Johnny Gomes, I wanted to be successful on the big stage like they were. Well, I watched their work. I watched their preparation and how they went about their business every day. And AJ Hinch said that was the sole reason we had a good baseball team this year, was because of the example he set.
Yeah, you got to appreciate the hard work, the work ethic to get here. His stuff is spectacular. 28 years old, his birthday on this day. I mean, it's a pretty good birthday present to win the Cy Young, and I just love his intensity. Like, this guy is going to be around for a long time. He grew up idolizing Clayton Kershaw, won 3 Cy Youngs, of course, in his Hall of Fame career. It's not over yet, but maybe Tarik Skubal becomes the next Clayton Kershaw and is dominant like he once was during his career. Tarik Skubal and Chris Sale win the Cy Young, just the 3rd time in MLB history. The 2 lefties win the Cy Young in the same season. Will Middlebrooks here on CBS Sports HQ. Will, thanks.